Welcome back to EDN113 Lecture Session 2B. During Session 2B, we will look at the preparations for the workshop. What can we expect? Firstly, we're going to look at the pedagogy around the use of graphic organizers. And secondly, we will look at Activity 2B. Part 1. Understand the use of graphic organizers in learning. Visual learning. Why? What is the benefits of visual learning? Well, visual learning caters for the visual learners. It helps support literacy development, and it acts as a cognitive reinforcement tool. It incorporates different levels of and types of thinking, and it can be used before, during, or after learning. Another benefit is that it can be teacher-produced, or you can require your students to produce it individually or in groups. It can be used to check for understanding, or it can be used as an assessment tool. It is absolutely great for and very effective for scaffolding, and it helps to create the mental models. It is also supported by research. Visual brain facts. 80% of the brain's sensory input is visual. The brain's quickest response is to color, motion, depth, and form. Research shows that pictures are retained for longer in the brain and encoded more effectively. And the dual coding theory is that knowledge is stored in two different ways: logistic and imagery. Now, keeping that in mind, you can see why graphic organizers could potentially be a great way providing students with another learning experience. So it caters for the imagery through the actual form or format of the graphic organizer, and it caters for the linguistic because words are used to describe things or to provide information about things. Barry Bennett wrote the book Graphic Intelligence, and he, famous author, said that graphic organizers are visual frameworks that assist those involved in learning to organize, clarify, connect, rank, assess, and evaluate their thinking. Now let's look at some graphic organizers and see how they can assist. 6 different graphic organizers on the screen here. I'm pretty sure the Venn diagram and the fishbone don't need any introduction to you. The ones that I am going to focus on is the cluster or a diagram or map, the mind map, the concept map, and the flow chart. Firstly, let's look at the cluster map or cloud diagram. It starts in the center with the main topic. It moves outwards. Secondary topics will be in this case in pink, and then one layer further down it is in white. Okay, so you can see there's sort of a hierarchy, and that color is used, and that it starts from the center moving outwards. So most important in the inside, least important on the outside, and that everything is in little clouds or blocks. Information, it could be single words, it could be little sentences, it could be more than one idea in a bubble. Mind map, it also starts in the middle, but it does not have any clouds. It has branches going out from the middle. Each branch has got main topic, and it's from a different color. And from working from the inside out, you'll see that it splits off into smaller branches, and each branch again, it's got a single word or a single idea attached to it. And the use of pictures is also a criteria for a mind map. So in a mind map, you've got your centralized main idea, branches out from the center onto your ideas and sub-ideas, all the way to the outside. You've got pictures going on, and you've got distinct colors. Each idea and its branches is branching off in a different color. Looking at a concept map starts at the top, the main idea is at the top, and it's got hierarchy going down. So starts at the top with the main concept, secondary concepts as in the first row, and then it moves down from there. Now you've got arrows that connects your ideas to one another, and you've got linking words. So if you look at a concept map, you will have little sentences. A concept map must have arrows. The arrows is clearly visible. So you can see that the concept map is a hierarchical order from the top to the bottom. It's got linking words, it's got different layers of importance, and it's very structured. This is the type of things you will definitely use in biology, science, where there's a hierarchy and things are linked to one another. Okay, looking at a flow chart. A flow chart's characteristics is that it starts and ends in a shape that's got rounded edges, and that all your blocks in the middle of your flow chart has got sharp edges. You've got your arrows showing the flow of information. So you start at the top, in this case, but in a flow chart you don't always have to start at the top, but you start at the top, you move down, follow the arrows. There's linking words in some, not on all of them, but they are. So you can use linking words. You don't have to use it all the time. It makes life easier if you do. Then it shows a better progress, especially if there's, like in this case, there's a question that was asked. If the question is yes, you go that way. If the question is no, then you have to go this way. If the question is yes, and you go that way, and you disagree, you have to go all the way back to complete the circle again. If you agree, then you go to the... So there's a definite flow of information. There's choices to be made. If there's choices to be made, you've got two directions that you could go in. So that's a flow chart. So now you can, from here, decide what type of map are you going to try to create in activity B. Let's quickly move on and look at the different levels of thinking that's involved. If we look at Bloom's taxonomy, we find that remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating is the different levels of understanding or thinking. And it starts with remembering and it ends in creating. Now the types of thinking that's involved is prioritize, inquire, sequence, predict, rank, deductive, and inductive. And again, it ranked from the bottom to top, top being the most or the highest order of thinking. Where does that leave us with our graphic organizers? If we look at a flowchart, the flowchart show the different levels of thinking is remember, understand, analyze, and the type of thinking is sequential. Ranking ladder is evaluate, and type of thinking is judgmental. Venn diagram is analyze, type of thinking is inductive. Wishbone is analyze, type of thinking inductive. Cluster diagram and a mind map both have got remember, understand, and analyze, and it is an inductive hierarchical type of thinking. And then your concept map is analyze and evaluation, and it's also an inductive and hierarchical understanding. So from here you can see it depends on what you want your students to do, which type of organizer you will then use. Okay, next up is Cuckoo. Now, go to Session 2, Activity 2B on the LMS. You will find that we've completed Part A, and in Part B, you will find the following. This is what it looks like when you open it up. And firstly, it says sign up for a free Cuckoo account. Now, Cuckoo is a graphic organizer. It's a tool that will help you create your own graphic organizers. There are some others on the market as well that works really well. Poplet is one, Bubble is one, Inspire is one. I've used all of them. And I have to say Cuckoo is one of the ones that works easier than some of the others. Right. If you look at you can look at the video, and it will help you to get started and to show you how to use this. Once you have familiarized yourself with Cuckoo and how to use it, you will then go on to the activity. Now, this activity is designed as a group activity for the internal students. For the external students, we've decided to make it an individual activity. So what you will do is you will create your Cuckoo account, and then you will use the information from your activity 2A. And if you recall, your activity 2A was where you use Digo as your online library to find 3 resources about safe, responsible and ethical use of the internet, and you evaluate those 3 resources. Now, you will use the information that you gathered from those 3 resources to help you to create a graphic organizer. And once you've done that, you will then make a screenshot of your graphic organizer and upload it to Linoid on your Session 2 page. This screenshot will then serve as your reflection for Session 2, and you don't have to write an additional reflection. Okay, thank you for listening to the lecture. I hope you have a better grasp of what is needed for this coming week. Everything of the best.